Hi. Automating your translation process can make it much faster and more efficient. So I wanted to show you how to use automations in SimpleLocalize to automate your translation workflow. You can find automations in the Settings tab of your project in here. You can create up to 3 automations and they work together. First, you can create an automation that changes the review status when a translation in your default language changes. So let's create an automation. We add a name in here, automation number 1. We choose the trigger. So when the translation changes in the default language, additionally, you can choose the source type and the review status to specify the changes of the translation. So if they come from the API or made in the editor, for example, then we choose the action. So what we want to do, we want to change the review status to needs review for all languages except the triggered language. So to sum up, when the default language changes, then the review status is changed to needs review for all other languages. We save the automation and we can check how it works. In here, you can see that I have a translation. The translations are accepted for other languages. Now, when I change the translation in the default language, which is English, and to save the changes with automations, you can see that the status is changed to needs review because the translation needs an additional review or a change because there was a change in the default language. Now we can combine it with auto translation, which is a great feature in the automations. So we go back to automations, we create a new one, automation number 2. So when the translation changes in the default language, we want to auto translate all other languages, no matter their review status or translation status, or we can choose that only we want to auto-translate them if their status is needs review. But let's remove it maybe in here, okay, and save the automation. Here we can change the order of the automation. So first we can auto-translate, we can just move it in here, and then we can review status. They actually work together in this case. So we go back to our translation. Let's change it. Let's change it to first name like this. We save it with automations and you can see that auto translation runs automatically. Here the review status is needs review because there was a change and it needs to be reviewed. Also in automations, you can, for example, clear other translations. So when the translation changes, you can not only change the review status, but also clear others to make it easier for translators to see which translations are there to translate. To make this workflow complete, we can connect it with a publication of translations to the translation hosting. So when the translation changes, we auto-translate, we can change the status to the review status, and then when the auto translation is completed, we can choose the source type in here again. We publish translations to the latest environment, so they instantly are updated in the translation hosting. Let's call it automation number 3. Let's save the changes and we can try it out. So here, let's change it back to name in here. We save the changes and instantly the changes are published. So we can go to hosting and we can check here the hosted file. So for example, for Spanish, here is our translation, which is Nombre right now, or in other languages. So translation are instantly published. So I think this workflow, the entire automation of your translation workflow can make it much easier, much faster, because you don't have to do that manually. You don't have to run auto translation. You don't have to click publish. It can be done automatically and it can make your work much easier and smoother. So I hope this helps and I hope you try automations and implement it in your workflow. And in case you have any questions or suggestions, or you would like to have a different automation in your workflow, then feel free to reach out and we will be happy to make it for you. Thank you. Bye-bye.